Hey, it's me, Jacqueline. I'm so glad you decided to watch another video. You probably already watched the video with the most common mistakes on the driving test, the most common automatic fails. And now I just want to tell you some other random automatic fails that my students have experienced. And it's really, really annoying when somebody automatically fails their test, especially for something that's so easy to avoid. So I'm going to talk about the category of auxiliary equipment: the horn, the headlights, the windshield wipers, and the hazard lights. I've heard a story from one of my driving students. They failed their driving test because when they put on their windshield wiper, they forgot to put on their headlights. And I don't live in a very rainy climate, so it's not something that's ever come up again. But I want you to know, the law says you have to put on your headlights when you use your windshield wipers. And the purpose is because it brightens us for oncoming traffic so they can see us. So let my students experience, put that in your head. Whenever you use your windshield wipers, you turn on your headlights. Auxiliary equipment. It's one of the categories for critical driving errors that we kind of refer to as the automatic fails. Another similar thing is if you go through a tunnel, you also have to put on your headlights. And I can't make it rain, but I can guide you through a tunnel. And I want you to experience what it looks like. Maybe we'll get some cars coming toward us that don't have their headlights on, and they will look dark. And then you'll be like, oh, I get it. You really do have to turn on your headlights before you enter a tunnel. I've never had a student do an automatic fail for this because I make such a big deal about it. So I don't want to add that to the list of automatic fails, but I do want you to know that it could happen, right? If you're on your driving test and you have to go through a tunnel, you're going to need to turn on your headlights. Just like if you're on a driving test and it starts to rain, you're going to put on your windshield wipers and turn on your headlights. Another auxiliary equipment thing that I have heard from one of my students, and it was one of their friends, so it's secondhand, but I believe it. The experience sounds about right. The person told me that their friend was returning from their driving test. Great drive, in good shape. They entered the DMV parking lot, and while they were going down one of the parking rows, a car started to back up. And instead of the driver honking the horn to let the backing up car know that they were there, the examiner reached over and honked the horn. And if the examiner has to intervene in any way, it's an automatic fail. Again, I've only heard of that once, so it's not on the list of most common automatic fails, but I did want to be honest and just let you know there are a couple other random things that happen every now and then to people that have to do with auxiliary equipment, and you want to make sure that you don't miss a thing. And also, parking lot driving especially is one of the most dangerous kinds of driving you're ever going to do. That's where most car accidents happen. So you have to be prepared to honk if you see somebody backing out that's going to hit you. So we've got always turn on your headlights if you use your windshield wipers in the rain. Always turn on your headlights before you're entering a tunnel. Honk your horn if somebody's going to hit you. And the last thing I want to say, and I've never heard of an automatic fail around this, but it goes into that category of if it happens, you need to use your hazard lights. If there's a danger in front of you, if you're on your driving test or just driving in real life and something is in front of you stopped, you're going to put on your hazard lights to alert the people behind you that they also need to stop. So remember, it's your responsibility to use all of your auxiliary equipment and to be able to pull it out of your toolbox and apply it in whatever situation might arise while you're on your driving test and while you're in life. So we are going to go through some tunnels so we can see how turning on our headlights makes us more visible to oncoming traffic And we'll really only be able to see that by looking at other cars coming toward us. So we're going to judge the oncoming traffic. Do they have their lights on or do they have their lights off? And if they have their lights off, we're going to think automatic fail for you. And if they have their lights on, we're going to think that's what you're supposed to do. Remember, you can search any of the videos in our collection to find exactly a video to answer your question. So I hope that these videos are a helpful part of preparing you for your test. And more importantly, I hope these videos are an important part of helping you to drive safely every day. So we're driving down this road. It's light out. I don't have my headlights on. And as I come around this corner, I notice that there's a tunnel at the end of the road. And so I turn on my headlights so that when I go through the tunnel, I will be more visible to oncoming traffic. And of course I got the yellow and then red light, so I'll just wait here for my turn, but that'll be kind of fun because we can watch cars coming out of the tunnel and we can like gently judge them. Left car that just came out would automatically fail their driving test because they are not using their auxiliary equipment correctly. Second car also coming out of the tunnel dark. Third car wins. Bright lights, easy to see them. I bet you could tell the difference, right? The first two cars really did look dark popping out of the dark tunnel. And then when the third car came, it was like, wow, I can really see you. And we want to be seen in dark places like rainy days. Red car wins, this car wins, and that's a really good way. The next car wins. The way you win is by making yourself visible so nobody bumps into you. And on your driving test, the way you win is by always using your auxiliary equipment and following all the rules. So there we go. Not the most common automatic fails, but a few that have happened and could happen having to do with the auxiliary equipment. Thank you for watching this short video. Be sure to check out the other longer video about the 7 most common automatic fails on the driving test. And make sure if there's anything you have questions about, drop a comment below and we'll make sure we cover it. Have a great rest of the day. See you next time.